What's going on, all you gamers? Today I'll be going over a little bit of Rainbow Six Extraction, and what I'm going to be going over is a really powerful setup that you could pretty much use on any operator. So if you want to know how to be very strong in a team or even on your own, then stay tuned. Let's come up next. Welcome back, you guys and girls. As always, for all things gaming, for all things Xbox, then why not hit that subscribe and bell icon? I'll bring you all the latest and greatest hints, tips, guides and builds, and just some fun gameplay of upcoming games. But for today, I've been playing this game for a few days now, and I started off absolutely terribly. This is definitely not my forte of a game, but after a little bit of getting used to it, learning the enemy's movements and patterns, and working out what characters I enjoy playing with, I think I found a really powerful setup. Like I said in the intro, it's one that you can pretty much use on any operator, and after you've unlocked a few milestones, you'll definitely want to have someone in your team with this, because it will really help you out to get through those sticky situations. So what you're going to want to do is find an operator that you really enjoy playing with. For myself, I'm using this quite loud and bold. It's definitely not the stealthy approach the way I'm using it, but you probably could if you wanted to. So I was using it with Hibani. Hibani is a really strong character in this game, and she fires explosives that remotely detonate, so she's good for wiping out quite a lot of ads and actually does quite a bit of damage to some of the bigger enemies as well. What I've done, I would honestly say you're definitely going to want a gun that has a silencer on it. Either your secondary or your primary, but one of them will definitely need a silencer on it, because you do want to be able to go into a little bit of stealth whenever you need to. After that, the main core of it, and that will be going down to your react tech, and that's just chuck on your explosives. I found best for this is fragmentation grenades. It does a lot of damage, it does quite a nice little air effect with 6 meters, meaning you can pick up multiple kills, and you're gonna have enough of them to clear out just whatever you need to clear out in general. The reason for that is, and I don't know if this is glitched or intended, but it's this one right here, and that's the gear that we're using. So obviously, like I said, you will have to go a little bit through the game to get this as a milestone. I think it was about tier 12 on the milestones that these unlock. When they do, make sure you grab this right here, your explosive harness. Increases your explosive carrying capacity and deploys with 3 additional react explosives. What that's going to do for you is whenever you're going into your missions, you're going to start with 6 of those grenades, any grenade that you choose, because of the additional 3, meaning you have 6 rather than starting off with 3, which in itself is actually really good. However, I thought that that only meant that you were going to deploy with 3 extra. So it's good, but it's not the be all and end all. However, like I said, I was also using, when I go to the right one, this one just over here, the fragmentation grenade. 6 of these can absolutely decimate any room you go into. As long as you're timing it right, as long as you're throwing them in the right places, they've got enough damage, they've got enough air effect to pretty much take out most things in the game, except for the toughest enemies. So with Hibani, I'll have all of these explosives at my disposal at any time, and then if I need to, I can also swap straight over to her ability, which again does massive damage and can really nuke those ads, making her, I'd probably say, one of the best multi-killers in the game, along with probably Fuse and such. However, and this is the fun part, if you look at this footage in the background, I'll be playing just normally, going through the encounters, but what you want to look out for, whoever's on your team, especially if you're not playing solo, because I would highly recommend having someone who's got a scanner or something to have a look at the environment if you are going lad. But what you want to do, whoever has this set up, make sure that they're the ones that's picking up the extra react tech as they make their way through the mission. The reason for this is every single time you're picking up that react tech, and there's quite a few of them within the missions, you're going to be getting a whopping 6 grenades on top every single time. I myself got up to 24 or maybe even 30, and it's just an abundance. You can clear out so many enemies with it, it really does help you out. As you can see in the background here, you're going to have so much bombs, so much at your disposal that you can clear out most of the enemies, whenever you have a chance to not be in stealth as such, obviously. But I found this also helped on quite a few of the missions. Whenever you've got those missions where you have to clear out a lot of things at once, you've got the multi-spawning locations and you've got to take out up to like 15 of them or so, this can just massively help you to get through those encounters. But of course, like I said, this is a really fun setup, and I think quite overpowered to have someone in your team with both of these combined. If however you didn't want to go completely lad like I am here, you could quite easily swap it around a little bit. You can either have an operator that maybe has a little bit of stealth about him. So for example, you could quite easily use someone such as Pulse and level him up, which would be really good, or you could go for a nice and easy staple one such as Lion. If you want a bit more flexibility in your build and you don't want to go completely lad, these two with those exact same options in these slots, sticking with the fragmentation grenade and sticking with the explosive harness, will allow a lot of flexibility. You can go lad, you can do clearance, you can scan things, you can make sure enemies are detected. It will really work out as a nice build. Or of course, if you want to use a slightly more aggressive operator, you could quite easily, so say for example you wanted to use Sledge, which I've still got to try, to be perfectly honest. He seems like a bit of a niche character. If you did want to use one who's a little bit more upfront, a little bit more attacking, then you could quite easily go straight down, make sure you put that gear on, but also change this one over, rather than having a fragmentation grenade, to something such as just up here, a stun grenade. Being able to chuck out an absolute abundance of these can mean you can get a lot of easy stun kills. When they're stunned, you'll be able to pull off those one-hit kills very easily. Ultimately, with a well-prepared team, you can make this build very powerful. If there is another person in your team, I would highly recommend that they have something such as this one right over here, the XR Recon Drone. That will mean you can scout out all of the locations and then choose to either go lad or choose to play a bit tactically. But ultimately, like I said, that setup should definitely help you out and it's a lot of fun to play. Right, you gamers, that's just one quick tip from me. Obviously I'm going to be bringing a few things out on this game until Dying Light 2 and until Elden Ring comes out, when I'll be probably focusing on those a little bit more. But for the moment, take care, I'll see you all next day.